Hello and welcome to the Paint Bar channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm going to go over our 5 main brushes that we use in every single class here at the Paint Bar studio. You don't have to use every paintbrush every single time you paint, but it is very helpful to know which ones are best for which kind of brush stroke. So feel free to reference this video anytime you are doing another painting if you forget which brush is most appropriate for what you're doing. So the first brush we use here, going biggest to smallest, is what we call our big brush. I know this is not a very special fancy name, but we like to make our names straightforward so you know what we're talking about. All right, so big brush is flat on the sides and it is flat on top. I'm gonna dip it in our paint so you get to see what it looks like when we paint it on the paper. This brush is pretty awesome because you can get 2 brush strokes out of it, one wider and one a little bit thinner. The first one I'm going to show you is your most standard brush stroke, which is often used when we make backgrounds because you're covering a large amount of space. So this brush stroke just goes up and down like that. It's a much wider brush stroke. It comes out to be the width of the brush. You can easily cover a whole canvas because you can just take over a lot of space. The next brush stroke that you can use with this is a thinner brush stroke, and it's using the vertical part of the brush. So rather than holding it flat, you hold it up and down. See this nice thin line that you can do? And sometimes I even like to use this when I'm making branches because it makes really thin lines. I love how smooth it is and how it'll just kind of branch off in every direction really easily. It creates a very organic line, very much like a tree branch. Next brush we're going to use is our medium brush, and this brush is flat on the sides and it's rounded on top, kind of like a popsicle stick. And this one, like the big brush, is great for the background. It makes really wide brush strokes. You can cover a lot of space. Now the difference between this brush and the big brush is that this one has a rounder top. So when you are doing lots of different brush strokes in the background, if you want to see the brush stroke and you want it to be a little curvier, this is the one to use. I'll show you what I mean. So you can notice that the big brush had a very flat top with an angular corner. You're not going to get that look from this. So ready? So you can see the top is naturally rounded rather than straight across. Honestly, it almost looks like a picket fence if I were just to paint them right next to each other. So depending on the result that you want from each of the brushes, use this as a little reference. Straighter edges, use the big brush. Rounder edges, use this medium brush. Now, you might be thinking, in what situation would I want this curved line? Well, we do a brush stroke called cross-hatching here at the Paint Bar. And cross-hatching looks very different depending which brush you use. So cross-hatching is when you take the brush and you go like this. You go up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. So you're making all these crisscrosses. Well, when you use the medium brush, you can see my crisscross is a lot softer than the big brush. Check out this video to see more about cross-hatching. Like the square brush, this one is also great for lines. However, it will get a little bit wider than the square brush does. So if you're making a line like a branch, I usually tend to stay towards the square brush versus the medium brush. But as you can see, big and medium are both great for backgrounds. They cover a lot of space with an easy brush stroke. The next brush I'm going to show you is your round brush. This brush is your most typical looking paintbrush. It's rounded all the way around and it comes to a nice point on top. Sometimes these round brushes are having a little bit of a bad hair day, but if you just dip the brush into the water, it'll clean it up, bring it all together. My favorite thing to use the round brush for is making flowers. And the reason for that is flowers have nice, soft, curved lines, and that is what this brush is perfect for. If you want to see a tutorial on how to make flowers, check her right here. So if you wanted to make a flower, we have a few different options. One is to make kind of like a little rose, where you're just using the shape of the brush in a circular motion to get this kind of rose-like shape. Another flower that you can use the round brush for is a hydrangea, and this flower, you're blobbing the brush up and down to get this effect. So it goes like this. So it's quick, short, little brush strokes, but they're small, almost circular. All right, this brush is also fantastic if you just want to draw circles or swirls. Anything that has a soft, curved line is what you want to use this brush for. Because this brush is round, and no matter which direction you go in, you're always going to get a pretty consistent line. You'll find that the lines stay pretty consistent. So the next brush we have is your square brush. And at the Paint Bar, we refer to this as SpongeBob SquarePants on a stick. Always makes the kids laugh. So this brush is my favorite one when we make skylines, because literally the shape of this brush is the shape of all of my little buildings that I use when I make a skyline. If I were to make a line across like there, that's my horizon line, and from that horizon line, you can make nice square buildings. So see how easy it is to make these nice little rectangles. And if I go horizontally, that helps make the top nice and clean. There you go. Like the big brush or the medium brush, it can be used for background spaces. It just won't be as fast. You can see here it's very similar to my big brush. It makes a nice big stroke. And then if you use the thin part of it, it makes a nice thin one as well. So you also can make trees like this one here using your square brush. You also can make triangles. So anything that has nice angles, flat edges, square brush is the one to go to. Our last brush is the baby brush, and in our baby voices we all say baby brush. And this is the brush that we use to bedazzle, does all of our fun little details, little polka dots, squiggles. You sign your name with it. Let's say we have this skyline. If you wanted to add any windows, you would use the baby brush for that. If you wanted to outline it, using the plop and pull, and we have a whole tutorial on the plop and pull if you want to click right up here. Going around the outer edges, making just a little bit of a highlight. Ta-da! And then you can write your name. Work on your signature. It's also great for little details. Let's say you're making a smiley face and any other small little doodads that you want to add in. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel a little more comfortable with these 5 brushes. So these 5 brushes are the perfect brushes for any painter at any level. I have been painting for years and I still use these the majority of the time. If you would like to have these brushes in your house painting with you, you can purchase them on our website, which is www.ThePaintBar.com. And if you enjoyed today's tutorial, then we would love you to subscribe to our channel so you can learn all about our tips and tricks and other fun things we have to teach you. Make sure you like this video and comment below and let us know what you would like us to teach you next. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.